Welcome to the show. This is where your offers get sharper, your messaging gets stronger, and your business becomes impossible to ignore. Let's begin. This is the Marketing Makeover Show. Let me fix your marketing in real time. Hello, welcome to the Marketing Makeover Show. Chris Moore, founder of Pocket Marketer, and I've got Lisa Moore here with us today, and we're here to help her and serve her in any way we can and allow me to really help her get clarity on her business, the path that she's on right now, so she can go out and really serve people, which is what you do. So Lisa, why don't you start us out by telling us a little bit about yourself, kind of the business you have now or the business that you're getting into or revamping, and then let me know how I can serve you today and we'll dive in.
Okay. Well, thank you, Chris, for having me as a guest on the show. And I'm actually going back. I've been in health and wellness, repping medical devices for the last 10 years. And I'm going actually back. I'm returning to the depth of the soul work that I've been doing for the last 30 years, which is healing, mediumship work, psychic work, intuitive. And I'm really excited because there's a lot of people that are struggling right now and are lost. So I have written a book. I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. So I'm really in a state of what market to go after. I touch many different markets, from parents that have dealt with mental illness within their children, or kids that are struggling because of addiction. That is very dear and close to my heart, having a 37-year-old son that has been in and out of mental wards and such. And I have touched and written a book for the LGBT community. So I connect with that, where my family had disowned me for coming out later in life after getting a divorce to a man, my former husband. So I'm just sort of lost right now and figuring out, I understand the AI world is moving very, very quickly, and I can use a lot of the tools to help market myself, creating funnels and that type of stuff. So I really am needing some assistance and guidance at this point in time in my career, being 61 years of age. And I wish I could say I'm retired. However, I'm not. So, and the other natural ability I have is I'm a natural connector. I love to put person A with person B. It's just a personality type of myself. So help, Chris.
Well, I'm here to help. Let me ask some clarifying questions. So, and you're in Pocket Marketer with us, so we're glad to have you. And really the premise of Pocket Marketer is, imagine having the ability to give a world-class marketer, growth consultant, paid ad strategist, copywriter, all the context necessary to be able to create world-class marketing material for you. So just so you know, I'm recording this through my note taker. We're going to throw this in Pocket Marketer because we're going to use that here in just a little bit. But let me ask some very focused questions to get a little bit more context. So being in the industry that you've been in for a long time, kind of going back into business right now, are you looking to get into taking patients and clients on and doing the healing work and the work you've been doing for a long time with them in person? Are you looking to do this online or over Zoom? Do you have a physical location? Kind of where are you right now in that process?
I actually had a private session yesterday in my own home. I do not have an office space like I've had in the past. So seeing people in person is really the joy. However, in today's day and age, I'm really happy to work on Zoom or on FaceTime with clients, or even just some people don't want to be on camera. So I'll just do a phone session with them, and I'll record it and send the session to them.
Okay, helpful. And then can you tell me exactly what these sessions entail most of the time? So is this a session that's focused on, kind of can go in a lot of different directions based on the patient's needs specifically, or do you have a very specific methodology and framework you're using consistently?
So again, I tap in when a client comes to me. I tap into my guides and their guides. And quite often it's a depth of healing, and I get insights of where messages that need to come through. And I give a lot of tools for them. So it really helps them elevate where they are blocked or where they're struggling, where they've been lost you know, a lot of people are lost right now, including myself. You know, I'm not lost per se, but I am lost.
Sure.
I've gotten the clarity of returning to the depth of what my soul is here to do this lifetime. And I do it with joy. I do it with compassion. And, you know, it's spreading the love, because a lot of people are really struggling right now. And there's a lot of anger out in the world right now. So it's helping people calm that energy field, giving them the tools and the support that they're not having to do this alone. I think that's a big part. Fortunately, I have a partner. We get along amazing, phenomenal. And so we have each other to support each other. Well, issues come up, and there's a lot of, you know, my mom is still alive at 91 who disowned me, so I don't have to deal with that struggle. However, Leslie's mom just passed in January, and we live in Arizona. My father-in-law is in South Carolina, and it's a lot. She's going back and forth dealing with all the financial stuff, and it takes a lot. And a lot of us at this age are dealing with the parents, and let alone dealing with the struggle of mental illness within their family unit. So I think that's a big part. And I do want to get back into doing retreats where people come. I like to teach in a home setting, so people are more susceptible to be vulnerable and to release, rather than prefer to do a group of 10 or 12, max 20 in a home setting, and doing higher end rather than the low end ticket price, and doing 200 people in a room.
Sure.
That's where I'm at. And I've taught in Europe, I've taught in Canada. I mean, so I'm really returning to that aspect of myself. And I had a big radio show. I had over 40,000 listeners globally on Blog Talk, online 10, 12 years ago. And, you know, I touched many people's hearts and souls. However, I didn't know how to monetize it back then.
Sure.
And it was that act of service, because I very much am about giving.
Well, let me ask a more very specific question. So it sounds like, in general, if someone had to kind of label what you're doing as a transformational coach, a healing coach, could be one to many or one to small group, one to one, looking at what's going on in today's world, especially post-COVID, there's a lot more mental health awareness and mental illness, where the lights are being shined on it. There's a lot of people who are just dealing with daily life and the different struggles, and they're having a hard time coping. So I just want to make sure I'm on the right track there. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And then you and I have had conversations about some of the past things you've worked on, and there's actually medical devices that you've been in that industry for a long time. Are you also treating patients in person with things like the Beamer device and things to help them heal very specific parts of their body? Or is that something that's on the back burner for now?
No, that will always be. And I'm a big believer of the brain tap, which is a phenomenal technology. I know Patrick Porter. So using tools can really elevate people and give them added support. So again, I have enough medical devices in this home that I could open up a studio and have, from the power plate to a light device to, you know, sometimes it takes a village. It's not only just the teaching of belief system, it's many, many components. And I really like to emphasize to people, when they come to me or when people are drawn into me, my guides dropped this in years ago. This information may resonate today, in a week, in a month, in a year, or in another lifetime. It has nothing to do with me. I'm a conduit. I deliver the information. And if somebody's ready to step in, amen. God bless. Let's run with that. And that's what happened with our medical device business. We just got exhausted because people were not willing to take responsibility for their health and well-being. They were more interested in going on a $6,000 vacation to the beach for 5 days than they were to buying a $6,000 medical device that would change their life forever.
So let's dive into some things. I have a lot of information here, and I want to feed Pocket Marketer's world-class marketing brain with as much information as possible. So I'm recording this, and we'll go drop it in a second. I think what pretty much needs to be talked about next is really helping identify kind of that soulmate client, that perfect prospect that you want to get in front of. And let me feed some stuff to you. What I see is it's got to be somebody who's already have certain beliefs already stacked, right? Needs to be somebody who's open-minded, needs to be somebody who has probably been failed by traditional medicine in the past and doesn't have as much faith in traditional medicine as previous. Somebody who is under the mindset of taking a prescription or a pill is not the right answer. It's got to be somebody who, as at some level, has the belief in a spiritual connection and belief that there are supernatural effects in our world that can heal the body. I imagine somebody who's also been studying at some level or believing in Eastern medicine and having the body's ability to heal itself. And that's probably your perfect client in general, perfect patient. And then on the other side, when you think about like, what's the actual trigger of why someone would want to get support at some level, they've got to have a bleeding problem. And this is what most people don't understand about business in general. If it's not a front burner problem, it's on the back burner, and back burner problems do not get solved and people do not pull out their wallet. So I think at some point, we always have to recognize we can't convince someone that they have a problem and they should come to you to solve it. They have to already have woken up that morning fretting, worrying, and knowing the problem exists, right? So one of the things that I go over a lot in a lot of my training is the 5 stages of awareness. And I'm going to pull it up on the screen real quick. So we're going to switch screens. And I want to pull this up because it's going to be very relevant to what we're going to talk about real quick. Okay, so stop screen share. We're going to start screen. We're going to go to this one. This is a new system for me. So with this system, let's go look at the 5 stages of awareness. The 5 stages of awareness is unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, and most aware. A lot of times we have to identify when we're targeting who we're going to go out and serve. And for you, you need to find the right people, need to do it the right way in the first time. You don't want to go find people who are unaware that they even have an issue, because you're not going to talk them into having an issue. You're not going to talk them into believing that they have a problem. They have to already be aware of it. People who are problem aware understand, maybe I am battling depression. Maybe I am gaining weight rapidly because of stress and the lack of time and the way that I'm not taking care of myself. Maybe someone's solution aware who understands that they're battling some serious issues, chronic pain, whatever it is, but they're not super aware of everything, but they know that there are some solutions out there and they could go in some different directions. But most of the time, they're not aware that going to someone like yourself, who's a practitioner of holistic healing and transformation, and you have all these different tools that are not Western medicine that can fix this in more of a natural way, they're not even aware of that solution compared to someone who's product aware, may be aware that those type of solutions do exist and maybe even that you exist, versus most aware, lastly, is someone who's already hit the wall. They've already hit a brick wall. They've tried lots of different things and they failed. I told you my story earlier where I tore my pelvic floor in 2020. I was the guy who was most aware. I went to the hospital. I had spinal tap. I had full body MRIs 4 different times. They tested me for everything. I went to neurologists. I went to cardiologists to see if I had blockages. I didn't know why my legs had fallen asleep and did not wake up for 3 months. I was that person, right? So when we do marketing in general, Lisa, we have the ability to choose who we speak to, and we have the ability to intentionally speak in ways that attract the right person and repel the wrong person, right? We don't want to talk to an unaware audience. We want to talk to somebody who's most aware, who's already hit a brick wall. They're searching for a solution actively. They're desperate at some level. This is a front burner problem, not a back burner problem. And there's somebody who's making their well-being, their health and healing a priority because it has to happen. Something's got to give. That's the whole point of what marketing should be. And this is where most people get stuck, is because they don't know, first of all, who should I be helping or selling my product to or my service to? And then how do I really identify who I should talk to and who I shouldn't talk to? How do I talk to these people? How do I attract the right person, right? How do I position myself? What ad platform should I go on? Or should I do local marketing versus do it online? And there's so many different things. So is this kind of resonating? Is this where you felt a little stuck or a little paralysis?
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, beautiful. So now I believe that our world-class marketer inside of Pocket Marketer should have enough context to get started. So what I'll do here is we'll put this back up. I'm going to pull out my note taker. I'm going to press pause because we've just been recording this 13-minute conversation. And what I love about this, and this is why I built this system, is because I know that if you had the ability to extract that information and give it to someone like myself, I can be dangerous. I can really help you quite a bit because now I have enough context. You can record it. You can upload the Zoom if you want to, or a video file. You can record it right in the system, or you can just copy and paste the transcript just like this. What I love about the way that I built this system, and this isn't a plug for this system, this is just me showing you my framework and the way that I would go about working with you as a professional consultant who's going to come in and be your growth marketer, right? So I would put it in this system, and I'm essentially training my world-class marketing brain on your business, your problems, where you are in your journey, what you're trying to accomplish, who your perfect prospect or client is, what have you tried that didn't work, etc. And then from there, it goes into the project strategy coach. The project strategy coach is pretty simple. This is just a coach to finish the conversation, because not everyone's going to give enough context right out of the gate. Some people are going to skip the process. So this is going to come and fill in the gaps and say, hey, make sure I'm on the right track. Here's where we are. You're a transformational healing coach with deep personal and professional experience, who mostly works with one-on-one or small groups, often in person, but also online. You have a strong desire to serve people struggling with mental health, addiction, spiritual healing, especially those who failed by traditional medicine, who are open to holistic approaches. You want to attract clients who already recognize that they have a pressing problem and that you're actively seeking solutions, rather than those unaware, only vaguely aware. We can keep reading this. And then lastly, is there an accurate summary of where you are? Also, are you facing any marketing efforts in your business? Are you focusing on that? Okay. So this is actually Lisa's company. I'm Chris. I'm working with her right now and I'm going to give her a blueprint. She's not doing a ton of marketing right now. She's been a little bit of a paralysis of analysis point where she knows what she needs to do, but executing it may be a little harder than it sounds. So she needs a blueprint on where to start. But yes, everything you gave me in the summary is correct. And then, yeah, ask me a couple more questions. So I built this system, Lisa, obviously to be able to do this for you. And I didn't want to just come on and give you advice. I wanted to be able to go through this with you and literally give you a blueprint to walk away from. I know that you have an account, so you can copy and paste what I give you into that account. A couple more questions. Lisa, do you have an email list?
I do have an email list of about 1,000 emails on my personal, and then I have about 1,500 emails from my medical device.
Okay, so Lisa said she has emails, yes, some from different past businesses she had, but they're all adjacent, so maybe not all local to her. Social media following or audience that you currently have. So you're in a new town, right? So you're not super popular yet in your new town, correct?
Correct. I have 5,000 Facebook friends on my personal page. I have about 10,000 followers on an LGBT page, which I have not worked, but it has just been growing organically. And then I have on my personal following healing page, I have about 500. Again, I haven't worked it very much.
And then let me ask you one more question here too. Sorry to interrupt. What's the main outcome or transformation that you want your clients to experience? In your words specifically, what's the results that you want to deliver?
I want people to come back into wholeness within the depth of their heart and soul, finding that joy, finding that inner peace, and starting living their life with purpose, passion, and freedom. I guess on so many different levels, physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and most importantly, spiritually.
Got it. Let me go ahead and press stop. One of the things I want to tell you, and it's going to go through its stuff right now, is a lot of times we struggle with that question. There's a lot of times as practitioners or as business owners, someone providing a product and service at the core level, we struggle with answering that question, and not just answering that question, but answering that question clearly, where it's more of a what's in it for me from the other party. So like from a customer or a prospect, we have to answer that question in a way where they look at it and they say, got it. You know, it's focused, it's benefit driven, it's very understandable, it doesn't need explanation, and they can see themselves in the result, right? In marketing, we call this the dimensionalized benefits. And the dimensionalized benefits, Lisa, is the benefits of the benefits. It's the so that statement of why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm doing this, I'm going to go see Lisa because that, or so that I can feel this way, right? So one of the things that, and the way you described it was good, but we're going to want to clear up that language a lot because it is somewhat ambiguous, right? And it's not a negative thing. a lot of businesses have a lot of buzzwords, and sometimes the way we describe things in our own words is a little ambiguous to the person we're trying to speak to. So I want to clear up that messaging quite a bit. A couple more questions here. Clarify the position or core offer around the transformation, et cetera. Create a small manageable lead magnet. Okay, what I'd like to do is, we've already gone through this enough. We're going to go into the strategy here, and we're just going to go into Pocket Marketer, one of my favorite tools. I actually recorded the tutorial video this morning. This is a brand new software just hit the market. And I want to just talk to you a little bit, and then we're going to drop it back into this in just a second. Let's think about where we are right now. I think in a perfect world, we want to do several things. We want to get some clarity today on, okay, what actions can you take? What should you be doing for marketing specifically? Is there a 90-day action plan that you could take that will help you have something as a guide to follow, so you're not waking up every morning with your pencil sharpened, you're sitting at your desk, you're ready to go, but like, what do I do? Which is one of the most demoralizing things that can really happen in somebody's business. But instead, we want to have goals and targets. A goal is what we're trying to accomplish over a certain period of time. And targets are those little stepping stones. Those are the little daily, weekly, and monthly activities that are going to get us there. So number one, let's identify a really good way to talk about what we do. So what you do specifically, how can we talk about it in a way where you know exactly how to talk to someone based on each level of awareness? We talked about it earlier: unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, most aware. How do we speak to people in a way where we understand how to speak to them where they get it? Like I just said. Number two, let's come up with some discovery questions. So when you get an opportunity to speak to somebody, that you can quickly ask questions, determine where they are on that scale. Where are they on the awareness spectrum? And beyond that, we got to look at the ready, willing, and able scale, right? Is someone going to be a good potential customer or patient for you? Are they in the right mindset? Do they have the financial means? Is this a big enough problem and priority to solve? Are they open-minded and they're already in that right mindset that we're looking for? Because it's going to be tough to try to take somebody who is maybe completely against everything that you're doing and convince them that this is a great solution. We want to go with the grain, not against it, right? So let's focus on that to begin with. The next thing I want to do is I want to create some hooks and some headlines. And what I mean by that is just simply these quick, easy ways to talk about what we do. That's very easy to understand, very benefit driven, and it resonates really well with who you're trying to attract. And it also repels people that we don't want to attract. And then I'd also, after this, we're going to jump into the big idea generator, and we're going to try to figure out, okay, what can be the cornerstone of the marketing conversations we're having with the world? What's the big idea that when someone sees it, they're like, wow, this is what I've been looking for? And I think part of what we struggle with, most people, is just articulating what you do in the right way. So I want to start there, because once you start doing that, the normal behavior you're already going through right now, your normal conversations you're having with people, are going to become more powerful, and they're going to become more intimately relevant to each person you're speaking to, where they're going to start becoming much more magnetic to you, where they're going to be like, wow, can you help me? And when someone says, what do? You can answer it so precisely and concisely, specifically tailored to who you're speaking to, in a way where they say, whoa, this is what I've been looking for. And then business gets really easy. Before we ever get to digital marketing, we've got to get that down first. So I just recorded this little narrative that I just gave you. Okay. We're going to drop it into Marketing Coach, which is Pocket Marketer is actually designed. This specific Pocket Marketer was designed after my Marketing Coach that has had over 300,000 uses on ChatGPT. I've given it away to a lot of people. And it's designed to be that perfect content strategist with you, your marketing strategist. So let's go in there and see what happens from here. Then we'll go in the big idea. But I want you to have this as well. I'm going to give you all these outputs so you can take action on it and drop it into your account as well. All right. This is pretty fast too, by the way. We've worked really hard on making it fast. We've also worked really hard on making sure if you copy and paste this into a Google Doc, it does it with the right format. Okay, thanks for the detailed overview. It's clear Lisa has a rich background, heartfelt mission, and now she wants is the most clear, actionable marketing plan. So we're going to go and clarify the messaging. We're going to build lead magnets as an entry point. We're going to create simple nurture sequences, etc. I want to focus on this to start with. What I love about this is two things. I designed this in a way where it has the ability to coach you and guide you through it just like I would do. Without having to do a lot of choose your own adventure. It's going to say, here's what we need to focus on. Because a lot of times you may have the ability to come in here and just say, hey, maybe I'm your marketing therapist, and this tool is me. It's your marketing therapist, and say, hey, Chris, what should we be doing right now? What could I be doing? What are the things that I could be doing that I could control my own lead flow? I have a sales coach in here. So if you have tons of leads and then they're not converting, go in the sales coach, record your conversations, throw it in there, and I'll help you there as well. It's pretty powerful. So let's go into it. Here's the 5 levels of awareness: unaware, people who don't really realize they have an issue, etc. Here's how we can talk to them specifically. Ever feel like something inside of you is unsettled, but you can't put your finger on it? What if the stress and pain you experience is your body and spirit's way of asking for help? Have you noticed any areas of your life where you feel stuck and less joyful than you want to be? Right? So now you have the ability to talk to people based on where they are. And then after this, like I said a minute ago, we're going to go and create kind of a discovery questionnaire set. And then we're going to open up and create kind of a way you can talk to people where they are going to very quickly say, whoa, I need to talk to this person again, right? Problem aware. Many people battling anxiety, depression, or chronic stress don't realize how much healing is possible beyond conventional treatments. You don't have to settle for feeling lost or overwhelmed. Discovery question: what have you tried so far to feel better? What's worked and what hasn't? Here's one for solution aware. If you're open to exploring healing beyond medication or traditional therapy, I offer a compassionate, personalized path. Imagine feeling supported in your healing journey by someone who truly understands the mind, body, and spirit connection. Discovery question: what kind of healing or support resonates with you most right now? From product aware, many clients come to me after trying everything else and finally finding the breakthrough they were searching for. Are you ready to prioritize your healing and live fully again? Discovery question: what's holding you back from taking the next step towards healing? So we can keep going through here. What I want to do next is get a little bit deeper. Okay, so let's craft a discovery questionnaire. So when Lisa has a new conversation, whether it's on Zoom or a phone call, somebody she meets in the grocery store, somebody who comes to her from referral, let's give her a very powerful, succinct, kind of ready, willing, and able, checking priority level, checking if they're in the right mindset, checking what awareness stage they are, and checking on where they are in their journey, and see if they're ready for this type of service and this type of healing. Okay, let's keep going. I've got about 15 more minutes, so I'm going to go strong and try to get you as much as humanly possible here to work with. Awesome. Question: while this is working here, how does this feel?
Yeah, that's phenomenal. It's amazing.
It's very, very on par with what you're looking for, most likely. And I want you to learn that we can't talk to every single person the same way. A lot of times in old school sales, and I've been trained on Sandler method and a lot of old school sales, we kind of have a narrative, we have a pitch, we just go for it. If you get into any type of sales now, it's a lot more of learning kind of the doctor method, kind of, okay, what's going on? What brought you in? What have you tried? What happens if I poke it? What have you tried that hasn't worked yet? What other symptoms are you experiencing? Go through a diagnosis, write the prescription. It's a much better way to sell nowadays. So I want to lead off with discovery questions, right? So I always like to let people, when I do discovery, especially if they came to me, as I say, tell me what motivated you to seek my help, right? Tell me a little bit about what brought you here and what made you interested in healing support right now. Are there specific challenges, emotional, physical, or spiritual, you've been dealing with and struggling with lately? On a scale of 1 to 10, how urgent is it for you to find relief or healing for this right now? This is a huge thing that a lot of practitioners like yourself, who are so passionate and driven by your mission, sometimes feel guilty about the sales questions that are part of the process. But finding out up front how much of a problem this is this back burner? Is it front burner? Is this a priority in your life? This saves you from going through a great conversation at the end, having them say, well, that sounds good, but it's not that big of a problem. $2,000 sounds a lot like a lot of money. Or, yeah, it's something, but I have a lot of other things that I need to take care of first. Like, it gets you past those objections before they ever come up. So that's why I wanted to say that out loud. How open are you to exploring healing methods beyond traditional medicine? Are you ready to take an active role in your healing journey? So we can do this a little bit. We can go and take this into the sales coach, and we can create entire frameworks. But I want to give you something a little bit more actionable than that. But I wanted to go through this process. I want to go through.
I love that back burner and the front burner.
It's
because
huge.
It's a huge scenario, because a lot of people, especially with a $6,000 medical device, or even committing to working with me, it's like, oh no, going on a family vacation is more important. That's a back burner. So I really love that analogy. That's awesome.
And somebody like yourself who's had these conversations again and again, you probably walk away sometimes baffled and say, I don't understand why people aren't making their healing a priority, right? But there's so many things going on in the background. There's financial insecurities. There's the idea of fear. There's the idea of uncertainty. Jordan Belfort, The Wolf on Wall Street. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's a real person. In his book, The Straight Line Selling System, he talks about the 3 reasons why people don't buy. They say they don't buy because they don't believe in you, they don't believe in themselves, so they don't believe in the outcome that's possible, right? So it's all about learning kind of how to pull out those limiting beliefs up front, or trying to understand if there's a confirmation bias. Like some people just talk to you just to see if you're full of shit. That's what people do. It's confirmation bias. And then they're going to be drilling you, trying to confirm that they are correct, right? So it's powerful to understand how to leverage some of these frameworks, because it's demoralizing to go out and finally get traction and getting new opportunities in the door. And then when you get them, you talk to them all the same way, and then you close 1 out of 10 compared to closing 9 out of 10 because you went through a different type of structure. And you essentially say, hey, tell me how to sell you today. And this is, I know you're about healing, you're about mission, but at the same time, there's a lot of, hey, we still need to make money. And that's where a lot of coaches struggle. And I owned a coaching company that coaches coaches in exactly your industry. We acquired it 2.5 years ago. And I saw this so many times where we sometimes feel guilty for the commerce part of the business, right? But pretty powerful stuff. So I'm going to keep doing this, keep building some stuff out. I put together some new hooks and headlines for you. And why you would use these is in your social media posts. It could be in questions you post. It could be on your carousel posts on Instagram. It can be little videos and scripts. We can turn this into a lot of stuff to help get you attention. It can be leveraged for Facebook ad copy, but a lot of really good stuff that's designed, like I said earlier, to attract the right person and repel the wrong person. Okay. What else I want to do is kind of help create an offer. An offer is very, very powerful. We want to have the ability to create an offer where people feel stupid saying no. Alex Hormozi in the book $100 Million Offers talks about the Grand Slam offer equation. And he said, this is an offer created where people see it and they feel stupid saying no to it. Alex Hormozi also teaches about the value equation, which is the dream outcome times the perceived likelihood of achievement divided by effort and sacrifice times time delay. So we want to be able to create an offer where we can even articulate it in a way where we show people we're going to get you where you want to go. We're going to help you stack the deck in your favor and give you the tools and everything you need to get the outcome you're looking for, and make them feel like, yes, I believe this is going to happen. The perceived likelihood of achievement is higher. We're going to do it a lot faster than some other methods, and we're going to do it with a lot less effort and sacrifice, right? One of my other mentors, Onyx Singal, talks about the concept of people want the gold and they want to pay the guide and they want to buy the map and they want to buy the shovels, right? So how do we create an offer for you? What you're doing is a little bit different depending on every person that walks in your door. They need something different, but the methodologies, the tools, the sequences you take them through do have a specific structure, and you have a way that you diagnose and you pretty much write a prescription essentially, just like a normal doctor would, right? But we got to learn how to talk about it. So I'm going to jump over what I'm going to do right now, since the project already has all the context from our project strategy brief. I'm actually going to go over to a new tool, which is we're going to go to the Offer Architect Coach, because I think one of your biggest things you need beyond more prospects is you need to be able to land them. You need to learn how to talk to people depending on where they are, learn how to talk to people to figure out where they are in their journey, and then craft an offer that people feel stupid saying no to, right? So here's what we're going to do. Hey, we're jumping into the Offer Architect Coach, and I'm going to give you a copy and paste from our marketing coach conversation a few minutes ago. You also have the knowledge base from the project working with Lisa, and I want to create an offer for her that she can pretty consistently market. She can offer to people she's talking to in person, over Zoom, from referrals, from all traffic sources where people feel stupid saying no. So I'm going to give you that. Go check your knowledge base and we'll go from there. So from there, we're going to go ahead and give them all the context from the other, and let's see what happens. I want you to walk away with a way to talk about what you do in a different way. I want you to have an offer when someone sees it, they're like, wow, this is exactly what I need. This is exactly what not only that I need, I believe this will get me where I wanted to go. And this looks like a better alternative than anything else I've seen, right? Does that make sense when I say?
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, I guess the other question I have to just
Please.
go on, am I best to really niche down to like the LGBT community, more to the 50 to 70-year-old moms that are
Great,
struggling?
great question.
And that's been my struggle. I mean,
Let's talk
it's
about that.
the niche within the niche. And, as a 61-year-old, and I realize I'm now, when I got on my spiritual path 30 years ago, all my mentors and teachers were all 20 years older. So I'm now one of the elders of this spiritual work as a healer. There's a lot of young people. So that's where probably one of my struggles has been. Where am I best to really dial in?
So let's talk about that. And excuse my language, but they say niches make riches, right? I've actually even heard it say niches make bitches riches. Alex Murphy says he calls it niche slapping. And specificity is massive, right? You have to really specify that. So a couple of things I want to tell you, and I run a marketing agency coaching company as well with my partner, Patrick Shannon. And he's a very firm believer in niching. He'd rather you be the marketing agency that only specializes in one thing. Just like if you needed heart surgery, Lisa, you go to a heart surgeon, not a general surgeon. So There's a lot to be said there. The other thing is there's a lot more consistency in the way you talk if you're talking the same, what we call customer avatar again and again. So the one thing that I will tell you is that most people do this wrong. We live in a world where if you want to do well financially and in your business and help people, you have to start with a demand first mindset. Where is the demand? You cannot create demand unless you pay $7 million for a Super Bowl commercial. You can't control how many people are Googling something. You can't just all of a sudden create demand for your product or your service out of thin air. You can only tap into existing demand. So what some people do is they niche too quickly, or they niche in a market where they think people need what they're offering, but they haven't asked the people what they actually need, right? So what I would do there, and I use this testing demand strategy in a lot of different things that I work on the business acquisition side, on the consulting for equity side, and the marketing side, the tool side. Is someone already waking up this morning saying, wow, I need this. I hope someone comes and offers me something. If they're not, you're in the wrong niche. So if you think about all the different niches that you have, I'd have to go through a little bit of a questionnaire with you and say, okay, if you go out and find 10 to 15 people who are in this niche, are they able to pay you? Can they afford it? Yes or no? Okay. Did they already wake up making this a priority? Okay. Is there a community that happens to be less trusting of the Western medicine? Is it an affluent community that also has the money? So like go back to the LGBTQ, and I always mess up because I'm from Alabama and I can't speak correctly. A lot of times, are they going to be your correct market? Maybe. And the reason why I think it may work really well is, first of all, they can relate to you when they may have trust issues outside of it. Like, are they going to judge me? Do they understand what I'm going through? So right there, you have relatability. Number two, it tends to be a very, very affluent audience in general with the sub-segment and the sub-niche that you're looking at, right? That may be great. They probably, in general, have a very more spiritually minded, maybe more focused on Eastern medicine, and they're more open to different types of things, maybe more exploratory, less conventional. So my gut says that sounds like a great sub-niche that you just recommended. With that being said, you still need to go test demand. Go talk to 50 to 100 people and tell them what you do and see the reaction. I want you to see the reaction, write it down. Write down the questions they ask you. Write down the clarifying or the clarity questions they ask you. And when you go and you speak to them, write down, are they tend to make this a priority? Did they tend to be skeptical? Do they tend to have very strong bleeding problems? Because if you find that the reaction's different than you're hoping, then that may not be a good niche. At the end of the day, the person you should be attracting is somebody who's already made it a priority, somebody who's actively in pain and needs some sort of relief. They have the financial ability and they're open-minded, or they've hit their head against the wall as many times and now they're ready to try something new, even if they don't believe it'll work, right? I think the human element is your customer avatar right now, not necessarily one niche, but I think if you talk to enough people across different niches, you'll find the path. I think the path will reveal itself. So I wouldn't encourage you to niche down too much. If you say like, hey, I have this group, you told me you have a group that you have a lot of access to, or maybe it's your group. if you're marketing in there and people are really resonating with it, and that's the validation you need to say, yep, I'm going all in, I'm focusing just on this community, then that's great. But don't do it prematurely without testing the demand first.
Yeah.
And what I do is I just talk to people and I just test my narrative, and I'm say, hey, I call people I know, and I'd say, what's going on in your world? Hey, do you want me to tell you what I've got going on? And they say, sure, of course, reciprocation. And you go and tell them. If they say, wow, that's amazing. Wow, I need that. Wow, I know 5 people who need that. Can we have a conversation next week? You're on to something. Compared to someone says, okay, what are you doing? How does that work? Or hold on, is that something like this? And like, you can start to learn from the conversations and start to tailor in your narrative as time goes on. So a couple things I want to do before we end this today, and we can do another session as well, another podcast episode, but in the Offer Architect Coach, we want to kind of give you a different way to talk about what you're doing in a way where it's easier to clearly articulate again and again. So I came up with a couple different options here. I guess my Offer Architect Coach did, and we'll go through it. So we have wholeness and freedom healing experience. This is a working title we can refine. It's for adults 35 plus who are deeply struggling mentally, emotionally, physically, or spiritually, have often felt or failed or let down by traditional medicine, are open-minded, spiritually aware, and ready to take responsibility for their healing, are actively seeking a real, lasting transformation, etc. Here's the transformation promise. I guide clients or patients to reconnect deeply with their heart and their soul and release blocks, find inner peace and joy, and living a life of purpose, passion, and freedom across mind, body, and spirit. What's included is a series of personalized healing sessions, virtual or in person, access to Lisa's unique healing tools and guidance, custom tools and exercises to support daily healing practices, supportive follow-up email. And a lot of this is really good, but I feel like it needs to be even more specific, right? So let's talk about it. I think this is really good. I think the name is good. We need to start focusing on some different names as well. Let's break it down into a couple different offers, right? When C says, okay, there's a couple different ways I can work with you after having a discovery session. We can work one-on-one together, often in my home or somewhere where we have access to my tools. I do retreats with people up to 10 to 12 people in a very intimate setting where we have healing and it's a transformational experience. So number 3, we can do online coaching, or you can get access to my course, right? So let's talk about the different offers, who would be a good fit for what. And then let's be a little bit more specific, not ambiguous, around the exact problems that someone woke up this morning already believing they needed to have solved, and how we can talk about that in the offer. Trying to give you as much good stuff as humanly possible here.
So you're in the Offer Architect Coach.
I am. Okay. And the reason why I spend a lot of time sharpening my axe before I swing it is because I know if I go out and just start making offers to the public, a lot of times it doesn't resonate. They don't see the value. They don't understand the logically justified price for what you're offering. Half the people you talk to don't even want what you're selling, or it's not big of a priority for them, compared to starting with this process of saying, okay, how do I talk to people depending on where they are? How do I figure out where people are in the awareness spectrum? How can I identify what I can say that really resonates quickly? How can I speak more in a benefit-driven way? How can I speak without any type of ambiguity or confusion where people say, okay, that sounds great, but what the heck does that mean? Right? So we're working on language. We're working on that. The next step of this for me, if I'm building out all your marketing, this is what I do, is I'm going to go and say, okay, we got to make the right offer. We got to have the offer product market fit has got to be dialed in. Otherwise, people aren't going to say, wow, this is relevant to me. Relevancy, Lisa, is the #1 most powerful word in marketing. At the end of the day, you see thousands of advertisements a day, and your brain, using something called the reticular activating system, determines whether something's relevant or not. It's that simple. It sees it. Is it familiar? Is it shocking? Is it exciting? If it's not, your body doesn't even pay attention to it. So we have to talk about things in a way that it's relevant for whoever we're trying to get in front of, right? So that's why we talked about messaging. We're kind of up here on our time today for the Marketing Makeover Show. I want to do a follow-up with you, and I'll do a follow-up with you offline as well, maybe this weekend or early next week, so I can give you more clarity on next steps to take. But hopefully this is a good starting point. This isn't teaching you quite yet in this first session how to get it out into the world, but we're crafting the offer, we're crafting the narrative, we're crafting who we should be potentially testing demand with to see if we should niche down. We're talking about what we do in a way where it's not going to be confusing or really buzzword heavy. And that's not a negative thing, but that's just marketing. If it has a lot of words that are cool, but they don't really convey exactly what the benefit someone's going to receive or the exact problem you solve, It's very hard to sell with that type of language. So that's what we were working on today. So let's finish it up by looking at this a little bit, see what happened. I said, hey, let's focus on creating some different offers. So there's lots of different things you can do, because that's kind of what you're doing. You don't have one offer. You have several. You have deep healing one-on-one experience. You have intimate group retreats. You have online coaching and self-paced course, right? So let's talk about these before we wrap up. So deep healing one-on-one experience. So when someone says, Lisa, how can we work together? You can say, hey, we've got 3 different options. And this is what I would recommend for you. But deep healing one-on-one experience, this is great for individuals with urgent personal healing needs who want focused, customized support, those who prefer intimate private settings and hands-on healing tools, and clients or patients who feel stuck with chronic mental, emotional, or physical pain that want immediate breakthroughs. Front burner problems they're waking up with. I can't seem to shake this anxiety, depression, physical pain no matter what I try. I feel blocked spiritually and emotionally, or misalignment, which is one of the most powerful negative emotions someone can feel, and it's holding me back from living fully. Traditional medicine hasn't helped me. I need a different approach now. I'm ready to take responsibility and make real change happen, but I need an expert guidance. How do you talk about this in the offer? This is a personalized healing experience, is designed to help you break through the blocks holding you back, mind, body, and spirit, using proven tools and compassionate guidance. Together, we're going to create a tailored plan that supports your unique needs with hands-on healing and deep transformational work. Ideal if you want focused attention and access to specialized healing tools in a private, supportive setting. So I'm done just talking at you. Let's go ahead and stop the share. I'll come back to here. I'm going to give you all that stuff. Where's your mind right now? What's your biggest walkaway or take-home points?
Wow, there is so much information that you came up with in a course of 30 minutes, 45 minutes. So it's going back and really studying and connecting into what really resonates with me. So what an amazing tool you've created, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you.
So appreciative for
my pleasure.
This time. And this is saving months and months of research and studying. And
sure.
Oh my goodness, talk about depth.
This is a $20,000 to $30,000 session I usually go through with businesses over about 5 to 7 days to get them ready to market. And I usually charge literally $20,000 to $30,000 for that. And that's part of the reason I built Pocket Marketer, is because most people don't have the ability to afford that, nor do they really need to spend that kind of money to get the clarity they need. So I'm glad you got it. Can I give you one like bridge or analogy here real quick?
Yes, please.
Think about when you were, and this was more popular back in the day, but we would go and try to get a job, and we would change the cover letter or the cover title of our resume, and we'd change the mission statement of what we're trying to do, and we'd change the experience and the education we decide to highlight on the resume to try to paint us in the right picture specifically for the job we're trying to get. That's all marketing is. Marketing is the ability on the fly to adapt the way that we present ourselves and position ourselves and how we pitch what we offer in a way that's uniquely relevant to the person we're speaking to, right? In a sales conversation in general, most people are terrible at sales conversations because they present a solution again and again. But truly, we cannot present a relevant, powerful solution to anyone, period, until we understand what they know, what they've experienced, and what they desire. So having the ability to market without having to have salespeople is the whole power behind direct response marketing, where we do the research up front to know what they desire. We know what they've already tried. We know exactly the perspective that they're coming from, so we can paint what we do in a way where it's not common. It's something they've never heard of before. It's unique. It has a unique benefit that they can provide to them. And then we have a way to cast a wide net when necessary and make it relevant to each level of awareness. Like, this is the power of what marketing should be. It's not what most people think it is. When I say marketing, I think Facebook ads and Canva and Instagram. Like, that's not marketing. Marketing is the scientific approach behind it. So that's what I wanted to show you today. And I hope that came through.
Yeah, fantastic.
Good.
Awesome.
Well, if you're watching this Marketing Makeover Show, couple things. If you want access to Pocket Marketer, pocketmarketer.ai. It's that simple. Request access. Currently, we're still taking on a few more beta users before the price goes up. And if you want access, that's the easiest way to do. Once you go there, you can request access, and it'll give you a chance to sign up as a beta user for $99 up front. Very, very powerful tool set. And we're just making it better and better as time goes on. Lisa, we'll have another follow-up either on the show or offline to give you more clarity and give you kind of a game plan. But thanks for being here and being my guest today.
Thank you so much, Chris. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
My pleasure.